Okay, so now we'll go over information slider. And information slider is one of those modules that, a lot of people like it. It looks really nice, but it also gives the most grief. So I've just enabled it and already you're seeing training events there. That's the event that I added when we went over the actual content portion. Um, and essentially what this information slider is doing is it's set up to connect to this events one. So essentially it's like a calendar module or a calendar widget, excuse me. So essentially it's acting like a calendar widget. Let me just open up these settings. And we have two layouts, default and minimal. I like to keep it as default. Minimal, there's not really like much of a change with minimal. Um, so I'll just keep it as default. The maximum number of items to show is currently set to 16. So this is going to look ahead. It doesn't say directly, but it'll actually look ahead 30 days, almost a whole month. So this might go to November 23rd, about 30 days forward, and grab the first 16 uh, events and place them into this slider here. And this is configurable if I want to say grab the first 20 events or anything like that. Number of links displayed at once is how many links are going to be displayed in this slider here. Number of links to move on a slide. So this slider is as a slider, it'll actually, after some time, it'll actually slide to the next event or the next few events. In this case, next two events, but let's say the next event or the next three events. Okay, we can turn on or turn off the automatic slider. So with it turned off, it's up to the user to actually click the arrow or slide this along. But we'll just turn it on so it slides automatically. Maximum days old news articles to display. This is actually very strange. It, there's a lot of words here, and the words make it confusing, but it's also ambiguous. Um, so, you know, I'm also confused with this myself. Um, it leads me to believe that this is actually how you configure how far ahead it's looking. However, the days old portion of this is what's getting me. It makes me think that, this is looking, behind 30 days. So from October 23rd, it'll pull events 30 days prior to the date. Okay, then we have show title, and that's why we're seeing training events there. And then data source is actually where it's pulling from. So either the events module or the calendar module or the news module as well. So I can go to, uh, let's say district news and pull these news events as well. So let's go ahead and change that to news. And now you're seeing news events, test one, test two, test three. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the slider settings again. Then over in styles, it's everything we've seen before. Colors, the title color, text color, or overlay color. So there is an overlay here. You'll see it's not like a full white color. It's actually has some darkness to it, and that's because the overlay is currently set to black. Okay, then we have dimensions. This first height here is the height of the actual module. Then we have the image height, so the actual height of the image is there. Okay, over in basic settings, these are things like the slide speed. So this is how fast this is going to slide, not at what rate, but how fast. Basically, if this is going to zoom across or if this is going to slowly just slide to the next one. And then slide move interval is the rate at which it slides. The higher you increase this, the faster it should slide. So this is currently set to 1. So this is gonna, slide and then take some time, take some time, take some time, and then slide again, and then take some time, etc. Okay, then we have content text size. It doesn't really matter, really. There's no content being displayed here. Typically, this was designed to, include the title and then some of like the first part of this news article, but that's currently not the case here. Then we have overlay opacity, and this is the overlay color set to dark. The overlay opacity is basically how transparent that darkness is. So currently set to 0.3. 0.5 will make it more dark. That'll make it completely dark. That'll make it invisible. Okay, let's say 0.3 again. As always, we have custom CSS. Don't worry about that. And then the title text size currently set to 32 pixels. And that's just 32 pixels right here, this title text size here. And as always, we have background. If we want to change the background color, give it a gradient, give it an image, change the overlay opacity. So yeah, this is essentially the information slider. If you have more questions about this, we can go more in depth about that in a training session. But this is just generally how all the settings are configured. So next we'll talk about actually the footer because there's another mission statement here, our mission module here. And that's only because if you have mission used and you want to use message of the day as well, we offer you two mission modules. So next we'll be going over the footer.